Welcome back here to the Crossfire Global Invitational. Excited to bring you plenty more games today. Next up will be SV versus TNC, which is starting to feel like it might be a little lopsided with how strong SV has looked. And I just wonder how TNC's unique style is going to go up against a team like SV who probably saw some of it yesterday or had, support staff who saw it and are going to inform them of, that the way that they play.
TNC definitely plays unique, but in a way it's just like random. I don't know how much you can prepare for it because they don't tend to do, they just tend to do whatever they feel like, it seems like.
Well, they play a lot off of Dark, right?
Yeah.
Dark seems to be the linchpin of their strategy.
But that was mainly on Mexico. Was he really the linchpin on the other maps, do you think?
It still felt that way. I think oftentimes it would immediately not work. Like Dark was getting picked a lot.
Yeah.
And then they would immediately default to plan B. But I think initially a lot of the times it is still around Dark.
In that case, if you say like he kept getting picked off early and that they would switch it up, that might just be SV's plan. Just let Imzen pick him.
Yeah.
Send Imzen around to be just the same kind of positioning that Dark has, just aggressive, and by himself.
I think if they don't start using their equipment more wisely at chokes and stuff like that, it could get out of hand really quickly against a team like SV.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That being said, well, let's go ahead and predict a bit of pick ban then.
Honestly, this is where it comes to be a little bit harder. Now, if SV is just feeling like, okay, we've already played this map today, we kind of want to play Mexico, they may not ban Mexico, but...
Well, they've already played Mexico, so they can go back to banning it, right?
Yeah, but, it's hard to say what SV's going to ban, so I'm just going to glaze over that. They can ban whatever they want. They're most likely going to ban either Port or Mexico, because that's what they banned before.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll just throw it out there. And then TNC, they're probably just going to end up banning. They like Black Widow because, the way Dark plays, they're probably going to ban Ankara maybe?
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's so hard.
It's so hard to predict. I don't even know.
I mean, any ban is good against SV, but that's also because they're good at every map, which is also a detriment to you. There's nothing to attack there. Anka, who, so close. I gave him a little smack for not picking up that ace there. We'll see if he can't find it in this one. 18, who has looked good, even though the stats don't necessarily back him up with that so far.
He's been working really well with N9 as well, so that's a vital part of SV's strategy is just him and N9 working together.
Imzen, you would have to say, like you said, was maybe the
underperforming on the frags.
The first weakness, or the only weakness fragging-wise for them in that match against Penta, so we'll see if he can bounce back here in the way that WQ did yesterday.
Yeah. And, I'll just say this about saying Imzen is struggling on the frags. Whenever you're winning by that much, there's a lot of times there's not enough frags for everybody.
Not enough to go around, yeah.
The only reason why I even point out the whole Imzen thing is just because I just wanted to point out something, any weakness right now, and just say, Imzen, he's not fragging too hard, his KD's not looking too nice, so let's point him out.
Yeah, especially with the way that Anka being maybe the other little bit of a question mark, but he exploded, so good today. So maybe that one a little bit answered there. Mac, we're going to say Mac because that's his in-game name, has looked much better, I'm going to say, as well as
I didn't even
MKC.
notice that. It was M4C on here and then Mac in-game. That's funny.
Yeah.
And Dark, they've lost a lot of games, so having a below 1.0 KD, not too surprising.
Yeah, with the 1-2 rating, it's just going to be about who's closest to that 1.0, and it has been Madala who's been consistent.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's come up with some flashy kills as well.
Yeah.
I remember yesterday, yeah.
And this is great to see from your order as well that Mac getting a 0.97 looks to be the top KDA there for his team, as well as calling the strats. Well, actually, it's going to be RGM.
Oh, RGM, he was coming up huge. Yesterday, he was just in the right position, right time. He was just getting double kills. He was ending on Ankara. You remember, he just kept getting double kills and ending the round.
Positional plays backed up with the mechanics to clean them out, right?
They almost took the win yesterday against Boss. They did sadly lose. Yep. But RGM was just coming up huge round after round, keeping them in it.
Yeah, they're up it's a tall task today, and they have to win to have a shot here. And if you have to win against one team, SV is not the team you want to play, as that is 100% going to be their most difficult opponent so far in this tournament. But we'll see if they can pull it out here. We're going to need to see... his name has escaped me all of a sudden.
On which team?
MKC.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, MKC is the man who really needs to step up. If just looking at this team coming into this tournament, I would not have expected that he would be the member underperforming.
Yeah, he's the most experienced member on that squad, so that in of itself tells you that he needs to be the one leading the team, maybe not in game, but just in frags or with his vocalness or something. The
port band actually going to come out here from TNC and the Mexico band from SV, so we'll see.
Didn't I call the port band?
You did.
That was kind of funny how I actually got that right when I had
Ankara.
no clue. I literally had no clue.
Ankara is going to be the pick, so called it all. Even the random selected map was called out, which SV has yet to play on, and TNC has at least one loss on, I think, just the one against Boss.
Tight match, though. At least they didn't get mowed down on it,
That's true. But it's terrifying to play SV on Ankara.
You give SV a map where they can just... the way the SV plays on T side, they just kind of work the map. If you don't want to give them a huge map to work on.
Right, exactly.
They can do anything on this map.
The larger the map, the easier it is to work it. And thus, the harder it is to stop SV, the freight train that is SV. That being said, there's also a lot of room for Dark to work on this map.
True. Well, I would say he would need to step up harder than he did on Ankara last time, though. Because last time on Ankara, he was kind of 50-50. There was a couple rounds where he did step up.
That's true. It was a back and forth match.
Yeah.
But
if they want to win this, he's definitely going to have like an 80-20 match where he's not getting picked that much and he's doing a lot of work.
That's for sure. He's going to need to find... He's going to need to give TNC a foothold into this match. But I'm still so afraid that it's going to get out of hand early.
The only way they can stop it from getting out of hand early... who is starting on the GR side, do you know? SV? Okay, so
I think
then TNC, the only way they can stop it from getting out of hand early, you got to expect that SV will probably take a lot of map control around the map, as they do on like every map. Especially on Ankara, you have to, in order to be consistent on the GR side, you can't be stagnant, you cannot sit back. So they'll probably be pushing A lot, they'll probably be solo like deep into B, like B hotel a lot, and they'll be collapsing on mid a lot. You got to expect that. So what TNC has to do is either early, just sit back and try to pick them off as they're pushing. They like pick a position, maybe A site, and just gather up there a little bit, sit back and pick them off. Or early on, just take like B hotel control early with like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, see that's...
Or take mid control early again.
That's something that I've noticed is much more prevalent on Chinese teams on Ankara than any other team, is how much they like to take control of hotel or the bar, and just how much more action there, how much more valued that location is than it is for almost any other team. And it does look like we're ready to get into it. We'll have to see how it plays out here, and we'll have to wait no longer. TNC going to need a miracle here to take down SV. Let's see if they can pull it out as SV heads on to Global Risk. Let's get into it. Does look like we had somebody fall out again. We should be able to get into it really quickly here.
CF.
Yeah, it happens
He
sometimes.
probably client erred.
Yeah, I think most likely the case. It does happen every now and again, but quick fix, and we should, once people get back into the lobby, we should be able to jump straight in. Madala having a bit of a laugh there. It's good to see from TNC that they're not down in the dumps. Whatever it was
they seem relaxed.
Hilarious.
Yeah, whatever it was. I wonder what it was. Maybe, what was he, logged into the wrong account or something? That'd be hilarious.
Who knows, man? 18, yet to truly wake up, it would seem.
He noticed he was on camera.
Yep.
He was like, whoops.
Gangaya.
What is that?
Embarrassing. He had a bit of an embarrassed face there for a second.
Gangaya?
That's probably what he would have said if
okay.
in that situation.
That's pretty funny. But either way, TNC, they seem really relaxed. Most Filipino teams, they just like to laugh and be really relaxed. And that's kind of how it shows into their game style, their game style as well, their play style. There we go.
I mean,
they kind of just relax and just do whatever they want, like I said.
Emzin yawning and 18 yawning. Perhaps they're passing it around the team. That just goes to show you how, like, it's just another day at the office for SV.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, people always talk about, like, oh, yawning, they're tired. Maybe it'll affect them in game, but it's just showing how relaxed they are. Because yawning is not necessarily it's oftentimes not an indication of someone being tired, surprisingly enough.
Just kind of bored. Not bored necessarily, but just like waiting. Like, can we get this going, I guess?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. But yeah, not WQ. SV, they have so many tournaments, so many LAN matches, everything. This is nothing new to them. Whereas this is exciting to like the international players because we don't get them too often. We don't get LANs too often. We don't get these big events. To SV, this is, like you said, just another day at the office.
Yeah, this is just the easy peasy part for them, How many finals have they been in? And
they already know they're out of the group.
Exactly.
So they don't
even already most likely, oops, I dropped my pen.
You're going to continue this day after day, huh?
I know it. I got to drop at least one thing must fall from my location to the ground.
Tomorrow it might be you.
Hopefully not. I would not enjoy that. But it does look like we might have a bit more of an issue. I will let you guys know if I hear anything from production about what the issue is here as to the delay. That being said, right, we're on Ankara. SV is on the defense. Do you want to see, earlier in the day we saw Emzin immediately come out of the gate on Black Widow and get aggressive and take it to the offensive side there. Do you expect to see that here on Ankara from him?
For sure. I mean, I'm not sure. It's obviously hard to predict where they're going to have the map aggression from, obviously. But, I'm just going to say it's probably on the A side of the map. That's the easiest spot for a sniper to really be aggressive early on and get a large view of wherever he's looking at. So they're probably going to aggro toward A early. He's just going to try to pick at the pillars, where Moss over there. But we'll actually see right now how it's going to work out.
Yeah, they do forget their luggage at the very beginning. SV.
They're on BL side, so
that's my fault.
On the GR side, though, TNC really needs to take some map control. What I said SV was going to do, that is what they need to do in order to secure these rounds, because they need to get at least 4 to 5 rounds at least to feel okay and comfortable on this side.
And it does look like SV was predicting aggression there, as they initially, Emzin holding a hard line there, expecting someone to come out through mid instead of opening wide and looking for it. And it is going to be the tag team there, N9 and 18. They're so terrifying when they play together, and they are working around through mid. And they've taken a lot of mid control here. Going to be Mac's job to stop it, but he's been playing super well so far this tournament. We'll see if he can continue it here. Has quite a job to do. It does seem like he has an inkling of this happening, as that grenade going to hit on target, but he's going to have such a difficult job. They are poking around through underpass there. Is that or is that connector?
Underpass, for sure, yeah. Because there's a connector back there that we call BC behind them.
There you go. Underpass. And as it sees Mac, isn't able to hit it initially, which should give a lot of information, especially with Mac being their order. We'll see what he decides is worthy of seeing just Emzin. It doesn't seem like he's called any rotations, and there's still a hard 3-man stack there on the A site. Maybe he's got a lot of confidence that he can stop this himself, but in fact, it could be a great call as the bomb has floated over there, and I don't think SV will be prepared for this 3-man stack.
And Emzin is doing just exactly what we talked about. He's trying to negate the Dark presence by doing exactly what Dark does, and Dark takes him out with an M4. Doesn't even need a sniper to take him out. Wow, what a great flank from him.
That will signal the aggression onto A site, and what should have gone poorly for them is actually turned heavily in their advantage, or evened it back up, and then 3K there by 18, gonna turn what should have been a pretty easy round for TNC. Strategically, ends up going off the rails.
They were prepared for that for sure. They should have came out on top, but 18, he just has different plans in mind. And he doesn't know where to look. Even though the shooting started, so maybe he can't hear too well. Maybe his headset's not working too well or something like that. But a nice 4-piece from 18 there.
And, looking like he heard us talking about his KDA being under 1.0 because he's turned it on today.
He's definitely been fragging a lot harder today than he was yesterday.
Multiple multi-kills already. He had, in addition to the one he had yesterday, he's had at least a 3K and a 4K, and then this in his last match as well as this one.
Yeah.
Or did he have a 4K? No, that was Anka.
I think he had a triple kill.
I was thinking of Anka, but he had at least one 3K, I remember.
That's a good pass or a push coming in here from SV, though. Even though TNC is set up for it, it'll probably still catch them off guard.
I wonder if we'll continue to see N9 being the entry guy here and 18 being the follow-up. It just seems like they're always together, and it's been working so well that I don't know why you would ever break up N9 and 18. But in fact, it's going to be N9 on a solo push. 18 is not far behind him, and double key there as well in support. And they're just slowly creeping onto the site. In fact, it's going to be a 5-man push.
This is going to be so hard for TNC to hold. Basically impossible for them to hold. There's no way they can. Yeah, exactly. Both of them fall pretty much instantly. The thing is, they're not getting any information here. They're playing really far back on the sites, the exact opposite of what I said they needed to do.
Perhaps even scared.
Yeah, they're definitely scared right now. And what they need to do is they need to take map control. They need to get information. Not map control for the sake of getting just frags, but you need to know what SV is doing. It's too big of a map. You can't rotate quick enough. You need to know and have an inkling of what's happening, just like last round. They did get some information last round, but it still didn't work out for them.
The clock is heavily against them here. It's starting down to 15. They do get a couple kills here, though, and it's starting to look possible. The 2-on-3 is on, and N9 on super low health. He's going to get the peak advantage there, and Anka going to clean it up. Good round there from SV. I don't even know if they would have had time to defuse the bomb had they.
They were taking a little bit too long, but they may have been able to get it because you can defuse the bomb in no time flat in CF, but...
That's true. Again, forgetting their luggage, somebody's going to have to go back and get it. Probably going to be Emson's job here in a second. As I don't think it's it's very typical for you to leave the bomb at spawn. That is quite a jaunt. MKC going to
gets away with no damage.
And a lot of damage onto N9. He took 4 damage, all right.
I don't know how. Probably from jumping on top of that and falling down, guaranteed.
Both him and Dark apparently falling from the exact same height. As it looks like they both have exactly 4 health missing. So there you go. And just like maybe some somewhat early aggression towards this A side, which is pretty rare so far. That being said, the bomb is in Emson's hands, I would assume, from the way things were progressing. And it's floating towards B. And it seems like, that strategy that you were talking about earlier where they're just going to fan out and start pushing individually and see where it's weak.
They're so deep. Just look at the dots on the minimap there. They are so deep into GR territory here. They can go anywhere. They can go A, they can go B, they can go middle, they can do whatever they want.
That being said, at least
just depends on where they get the first
this round has some information to work with, which is as they do have a player even outside of bar themselves. But these are interesting lines to be being hauled, and we'll see which one breaks first. They're going to check that box there, but nobody home, and that should give some information to Mac there. But weapon,
what?
His weapon was pointing out through.
Oh, Mac, what an unfortunate circumstance there for you.
That being said, that has to be a well-known thing.
Yeah, definitely is known. I don't know why he would. It's just maybe nerves. He wasn't really thinking about his gun barrel being stepping out.
That being said, it is all of a sudden into a 4-on-2, and the defense is completely severed there. Free plant on A if they want it, but yet to really make a move that direction. The bomb is now heading in towards that great play there by 18, completely reading him out and getting basically a free kill for himself on the MKC. And RGM, if there was a man to do it, you'd have to say it's been him who's been most consistent, and he puts 18 onto 1 health, which is miserable because he needed that one. He will in fact pick up N9 first, and will he be expecting 18 there? He can't quite find it. And 18 able to get it on 1 HP.
And just like when he got that 4K in his first match of the whole tournament, positional play is what got him those kills right there.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
Right place, right time.
And it's already starting to get a little bit out of hand. TNC needs to stop the bleeding. It's already 3 rounds to 0 for SV. And with every round, as much as you can try and keep that confidence going, it has to slip away little by little against a team like SV. I mean, you can speak from experience, playing against some of those
For sure.
dominant teams.
Especially whenever, you've had a couple of different kind of rounds. You've gotten smashed and you've lost the round. And then you had a really close round where you kind of almost should have won it. You had the perfect strategy and you still ended up losing it. So it's like, if it was just one of those types, you would be like, okay, at least we're not getting smashed. Or, okay, well, we haven't really had any close rounds yet. So, it hasn't been that close. You can't really say this game is over yet. But they're losing both types of rounds. So it's going to be hard on their mentality.
So what do you do to, bounce back in a situation like that?
They need to change up their strategy. They need to be more aggressive on the GR side. They just still have not changed. They got a pick there on double Q. And that looked like that was at A side. He must have, that was in the ventilation, in the vents. And Imzen's going back there and try to get the refrag, and he might. But it looks like Madala has intelligently fallen back, and he's now under the stairs over.
It does seem like when SV does, fans out and checkers around the map, they react immediately, even if it's their own team being killed there. And for better or worse, they're going to have an A hit come out here, and TNC with a good chance to defend it, but they're losing all of the duels, and 18 getting another free backstab and a great headshot there to close out the double kill. And looking like another round going to swing here in favor of SV, barring some heroics from MKC and Mac. But N9 watching the back, MKC's gonna have to go through him, and he's even spraying that box where he is. And in fact, it's Anko coming out from the doors that's gonna pick him up with a headshot. And 4-0 now.
And Imzen, I think, the only one in negative numbers right now.
Which again, it's one of those situations where are there enough kills to go around?
No, there's not. But it's still interesting how it keeps being him. Maybe there's something, double Q's also a negative number, so I take it back.
I think 18 being 10-1 is
it does take it away.
Contributing to that.
Yeah, but we still got to point out something. There's got to be some weakness that SV's having.
But that's a little bit bonkers there. 8 or 10-1 from 18 currently.
4 rounds in, too. We're going into the 5th round.
Night.
If he keeps this up, he's definitely going to pass 20 kills in the half.
We've not seen that either.
I don't think we
haven't seen an ace, and we haven't seen a 20 bomb in one half.
I don't even think we've seen 15 or more kills in the half yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Nimzen, he got an opening pick. He must have heard me talking about him. He takes Amadala. And he may be able to catch MKC off guard here if he keeps holding the angle. MKC will definitely
Ooh, misses the shot, but in fact it's Mac elsewhere who's going to trade it back to make things into an even 4-on-4, even-ish, as both Dark and Mac with not even between them.
And there we go. That's aggression. That's what I like to see. And now the thing is, and again, at A site, as you can see, double Q, he died actually deep A long. That means they are being more aggressive at the A site. They're starting to peek him more. This is what I like to see. You need to have a little bit more confidence here. You'll start to take him out. See, they're peeking everywhere, and they're just cleaning up SV. If they can keep this up, they can get some runs on the board here.
But this man is still alive, and he is
always
so hot right now.
And he keeps being behind them, catching them off guard. 18, he's just on point right now.
He doesn't seem like he has the read there on MKC, but this is suddenly doable. Every person is on low HP.
And they have no idea where he is. They're just looking all around. They are clueless as to where he might be. And they don't know the bomb sound either, I guess. He gets the bomb, and nobody's still seen each other.
Oh, no, he's got
caught off guard here. And yes, MKC does finally take him down. And now they get their first round.
Definitely heard him coming around that corner once he pulls that grenade out and starts sprinting there. That's why you have cough buttons right there. You got it off in time, though. Wasn't too loud.
Had to sneeze there for a minute. Fast B-rush coming in here. For the first fast thing SV has done, but will they even continue to push it here? We'll find out. RGM is going to be unfortunate for him. He's just not expecting their aggression, and that is good from him to actually be pushing up and showing some aggression himself, but
yeah, I mean, throughout the entire match, he hasn't been punished or contested even going into the hotel area, so definitely caught off guard, and that will let SV onto the B bomb side as well as they take down Mac as well. And looking like a pretty hard retake here for Dark and Madala, especially as they won't be there in time before SV gets into good post-plant situations. And in fact, Anka going to clean it out. And along with 18 for a very, very clean round out of SV.
Yeah, 14-2 now. 6 more kills.
Good God.
And he still hasn't gotten an ace, though. 14 kills, and he doesn't have an ace. Still no aces yet at CFGI. I'm expecting at least one, maybe in the finals.
For sure, right? You would have to think. We've come close.
I'm going to predict 3. I'm going to say there's going to be 3 overall, and 2 are going to be in the finals.
If it doesn't happen, everyone should be blaming Anka.
Yes.
He should have had it, I feel like. But, sometimes those bullets don't land where you want them to. And couldn't quite pick it up. That being said, a lot of aggression in mid, and N9 going to be I don't know if it's free, but a very clean headshot there.
Yeah. I don't know if he meant to do that or not, but him sticking his gun through the wall made them shoot at him. And because the guns don't do that much damage through the wall, he didn't take much. And he got instantly that kill. Just because the guy was using his bullet through the wall.
Ooh, that was
Wow, that was so fast. They just swarmed up mid and took them all out.
That was a sexy pistol shot, though, from Emzen.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have much of an angle on it. Jumping just boop.
Emzen just making me eat my words here.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that being said, I don't think he's nearing positive yet. But, well, he was until
Mac picking up the op. Is it MKC and Mac?
Yes, it is.
It is. They have double op, and Dark's not the one opping right now.
And they picked up double picks there. But Dark, in fact, going to go down. Perhaps should have gone with the triple op, and then he would have gotten that trade onto Anka instead.
Maybe so.
Ooh, 18 saying, all right, I see you guys picking up ops. I can do it too. Oh my goodness.
9.
Look how clean that is.
As usual, just clean headshots from this guy.
Down at the bottom on that hit tractor, man. Both of them were so clean. And that's a backbreaker round.
That really is. They got 2 early picks on the round. And I don't know. I guess they just kept over peaking, to be honest. Like, yeah, they needed to have more aggression, like I said, but not so much aggression to where you get 2 early picks and you're still peaking one by one.
Part of that was just like, but that was just N9 being
of course. The shots
laser
were
focused on the head.
The shots were insane. Like he wasn't missing. He was directly on the head or right beside the head every single shot.
There's some things you just. No matter how many times I see it out of N9, it still impresses me so much that he just does it with such consistency that it just feels like he can't miss sometimes. And Double Q, another man who can make the big plays, getting the initial kill there onto Dark, but trading quite a bit of life here as SV for that 1-man advantage, but they'll take it anytime when they get the 3-man advantage, and then a 4-man advantage, and looking for a 5-man advantage as Emzen scoping down where MKC is as spray comes. Oh no, and Anka is in behind and will get the kill there onto MKC for a clean sweep round before the halves trade at 8-1.
It's our first 8-1 we've seen too, and I think we've definitely had a 7-2 already. Yeah, we definitely have it. It was on port,
which is a different beast.
Yeah. So just an anticlimactic half, to be honest. Just once the SV pedal was pushed, nobody picked it up, and
we were really worried
stop pushing
about the TNC playstyle going into SV.
Yeah,
and it looks like it just nothing to do.
There's not much they can do whenever they don't have anything to fall back on. Whenever your pick strategy isn't working and your over aggressiveness, just peeking isn't working. What else can you do if you don't have anything else that you practice?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's just so casual. So many teams would be so amped going up 8-1 against any team. Even if you know that you're the stronger team, it just feels good.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting hyped. Like, oh, we're all getting kills. This is great fun. Great time. With literally no emotion on SV's faces.
Emzen opening up the round with a pick on Mac. Trades it back onto him. That's a good trade for them.
And
T-side 4-4. I take it.
Yeah, that's also the hardest part about going down 8-1 is that you then have to go on to the attack without any momentum. Just spirit broken, and you have to be the one to go on that aggression and find ways past the defense. And it doesn't look like they're going to do it in this first round, as just dropping like flies here, at least early. That being said, it is only a 4v3. They can definitely pull it back, especially if N9 dies here, but in fact is going to pick it up as 18 picks up another one, and only Madala alive, looking like this might end up in a clean 10-1.
They just lost no battles, really. Emzen only really died because he was switching his weapon, I'm pretty sure. They're not losing battles anywhere on the map at any point.
And it's going to would be the most epic comeback in the history of ever. But with N9, holy moly.
As you say that, just 4 out of the 5 just drop.
Basically instantaneously. Just
Well,
free at that point. That round just felt completely free.
well, that was that.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, you know, it's a testament to what a great tournament we've had so far. That's really the only insane blowout we've had.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's more of a testament to the strength of the teams overall, to be honest.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's not much to say about that. You can't even really point out the things that TNC could fix, because whenever you get blown out like that, it's hard to just pinpoint one thing.
Well, it can't be one thing, right? If it were one thing, it wouldn't be 10-1.
Yeah. Because they wouldn't have pounded that one thing into the dirt.
Right, right.
They can't just take advantage of that one thing. But once again, one thing you can pull out from this match is that SV just strong as ever.
And that 18 and N9 individually terrifying.
That's for sure.
Terrifying.
And 18, he's definitely showing a lot more of his talents recently with this new style or new position that he has on SV, where he can use not only just his aim but his intelligence.
I really, really like when SV keeps running this strat where they put N9 and 18 just duo roaming together, because I mean, if you take one out, you have to deal with the other one.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, if there's anybody else on the team with a rifle that you don't want to deal with, it's 18.
Yeah.
After N9, it's 18. He's got the second best shot on that team.
Yeah. I mean, many people might try and bring up Double Q in that situation, but Double Q has such a unique playstyle for me.
To me, it's like a 50%. Yeah, he has a great aim, and 50% he's just always in the right spot.
Exactly, just always in the right spot, especially defensively. Whenever a teammate needs him, he's boom, immediately there, trades it out, and then gets another.
He's just great at getting trades and knowing when to peak.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what it boils down to. After that, you just got to hit the shot, and if you don't have to be so precise like in 9. If you have those two things going in your favor. And
especially with Anka popping off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's starting to look scary down the line, even looking towards, the finals. Like, I mean, can we already slot SV into the finals? Like, who's going to take them down?
I mean, pretty much. We might as well just get on to the finals and just let the rest of it play out. Just put them on to the finals, let the rest of it play out.
Have another round robin with the other 3 teams.
That's the thing, though. These best of ones don't tell the whole story. So maybe one of these teams can actually compete with SV on another map. That's what I want to see. I'm kind of tired of seeing them in these best of ones.
I mean, well, they're done, right?
Yeah.
4-0, clean through the group stages. But that, again, right, still wide open for the rest of the group, except we know that TNC is out, and we know that SV is through. Penta still has their own destiny in their hands, right? Depending on what happens between them and Boss and them and OPK. Luckily, they still have the 2 remaining teams that can qualify left to play. That being said, they're going to need a little bit of help.
The kind of final I'm actually wanting now, I want to see Makta and SV.
Yeah, I mean,
I just want to see how that plays out.
Nobody wants to see
We've seen
TGF,
we've seen SV and TGF. We've seen that already happen.
The way things look, though, it's entirely possible.
For sure. And also, just as a side note, talking about that match, if you just want to, if you have a team and you're trying to learn how to play on the terrorist side, on the blacklist side, watch SV. The way they play is picture perfect CF. They just kind of spread out, and they work so well together in tandem. 99% of teams cannot pull that off. It's so hard. That's the way you're supposed to play CF, but it's so hard to actually do that. Most people will just spread out, and then they won't be able to work together. They'll just, one side will go too fast, one side will go too slow.
Even beyond that, though, it's a testament to how much trust they have in each other. Mm-hmm. That, if we all fan out across the map and are pushing in our own way, I trust that this side is not just going to completely collapse, and that I don't have to push super hard because I don't need to carry for these guys. Yeah. They can, if I don't carry this round, it's fine. He's got my back.
And another part of that is the reason why the strategy is so perfect for CF is because you give the other team no chance to really get any information because you're everywhere on the map. And if you're taking battles everywhere on the map, they don't know where to rotate to. They can't push and get information anywhere. And even if they get information, they're just like, oh, ones belong.
And they react. They react so quickly.
Yeah.
The second something breaks out, be it my team's dying or your team has lost a member, we have an answer immediately. We know what we're going to do. Whether or not it's correct, right? It's a team decision, and everybody mobilizes immediately.
For sure. SV, they have team play down to perfection. And that's the reason why they're the #1 team right now. Not only are they individually as skilled as anybody else, there's no weak links on their team with individual skill. They have team play down, and that's what's really important at the end.
I mean, that also brings up the question: Is N9 the best player in the world?
I mean, when you're on the best team in the world,
yeah, that's right.
In order to be the best, well, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say to be the best player in the world, you kind of almost have to be on the best team in the world, or one of the top 3 teams. And he is shining so hard, even on a team with so many great players, that it's kind of hard to say that he's not the best player in the world. He's shining so hard on such a good team. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see where it goes from there. Of course, coming up next, we do have Boss versus OPK, which will be a hugely important match, and will decide Penta's fate, whether or not they still have a chance. But we're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be back more after this.